few months ago, there was this Fortnite streamer, and when the new season started, his FPS really dropped. He really wanted to fix this. Not only was the game looking bad for his viewers, but he would drop frames in important fights and end up losing most of the battles. This Fortnite streamer tried everything he could find on how to improve his FPS while streaming or recording. He updated his video drivers, tried performance mode, and even changed all settings to low. Still, there was an issue. If you haven't figured it out by now, the Fortnite streamer is me. If you're like me and have this issue, I promise you, you found the right video. I'll tell you all the tips and tricks I found out while working on this problem for weeks. So make sure to watch the video in its entirety, as you don't want to miss anything that can really help your FPS while recording or streaming. I have this video broken up into 4 sections to make it easier. First section we're going to start with is the Fortnite graphics. This does make a big difference on what's going on, so let's go into your settings and make sure we have this correct. So here we are in the settings. So a few things I found out through my vigorous searching is, Windows display mode, you want to make sure that this is on full screen if you're only using one monitor. If you're like me and you're using 2 monitors, you kind of have to use windowed full screen, but full screen will give you better performance. Frame rate, you want to leave that just about where your FPS is. If you're holding steady at say 110 FPS and your monitor can handle it, I would put it at 120 FPS, for example. Going down here, I've learned a lot more about the graphics settings over time. View distance, I usually leave far. Shadows, I turn off. Anti-aliasing, I turn off. Textures is your GPU working. So if your graphics can handle it, I would turn your textures up. This is not CPU dependent, this is more GPU dependent. Effects is low and post-processing is low. Those are more CPU from what I've seen. Going down here, I do have DirectX 12 beta. I was able to use this and still get really good settings after I went through everything. Performance mode does work well, and I may try it down the line, but right now this works well. If you are still having problems at the end of this video, I would lower this to performance mode and see if this can help you. I do have NVIDIA, so I do have reflex low latency turned on. If you don't have NVIDIA, just leave that off. So those are the basic settings there. You could always jump over into your sound as well. Make sure sound quality is set to low. If it's high, that could also degrade your performance. Section 2, OBS settings. Now I'm not going to show you how to set everything up how I have it set up, but I'm going to show you the settings I use so you can get a good idea from there. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and choose settings. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you, these aren't that important. I'll just scroll through them so you could see them in case you're curious. I always do a confirm when I start streaming and confirm when I stop streaming. I think that's very important because you don't want to start streaming and not know it. So I do recommend that. I also have dark mode on. That's why it is a darker color. All you do is change that there if you're interested. They have other kinds as well. I actually like this new setting, so I'm going to keep it on that. They just added that. Let's go ahead and choose output. This is what I have set up here. So the encoder is going to be hardware for me because I do have NVIDIA, so that's what I'm going to choose here. If you have a graphics card, I definitely recommend choosing hardware, so this can use your graphics card. Audio bitrate, I leave at 160. I think that's pretty good. And I do stream on YouTube. If you go too high, YouTube won't be able to handle the bitrate at times, I've noticed. So I leave this there. Video bitrate. This is up to you, and I'll explain it a bit. This is what is going to show your performance. So I have to have a higher bitrate because I use a DSLR camera. And because of that, there's so much image involved that it needs a higher bit rate to be able to process it. If this is too low, your stuff's going to look blurry. So try going maybe like 6,000. I might be a little too high here at 8. Try doing something like that and see how it works for you. And I do have really fast internet speed as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So you need good internet speed to have this really high. Like I said, 8,000 is pretty high. I'd probably put it at 6,000 if I was using a webcam and give that a try. Recording quality, I have it high quality, medium file size. I don't have a problem with file sizes, so I leave it like that. And that seems to do very well for my quality. I can't complain, looks good. So MP4 format, you want to keep that there. And again, the encoder is going to stay that way. Let's go to audio. Everything on audio here is pretty much default for me. I had no problems with it, so that's how it is. Go in video. Video, I do have it 1920 by 1080 on both, on base and output. I do have 60 FPS because I want to stream at 60 frames per second. And this is the one I use for downscaling filters. That works really well for me. So I would stick with this one. Under advanced, you can change the process priority. I'm leaving this as normal, and I'm going to change Fortnite, and I'll show you how to do that soon. But you can go ahead and change this if you'd like. For me, I would leave it normal, see how things go. If you notice that your OBS is having problems, you could always bump it up. It doesn't seem to use many resources, so I don't think it really needs more than this. For section 3, I want to talk a little more about the PC and what's going on. So something you can do to really find out where your problem is go to your taskbar, right-click, and choose Task Manager. Once the Task Manager is here, you can go in the performance and you can watch these. Play and try to check in this once in a while. See where your GPU is at. See where your CPU and your memory is at. This will tell you where the bottleneck is. The majority of the time, it's actually your CPU and not your GPU, unless you're running like integrated graphics. If it's your GPU, there are things you can do, and if there is your CPU, same as well. First of all, you want to cut down on the amount of programs you have open. If you have Google Chrome open and you have 5 tabs, that's 5 separate programs basically running. So you want to be careful of that because that's going to take up more CPU usage. Also, Chrome and other browsers like Brave, which is what I use, they can use your GPU, and they are set up that way by default. So is Discord, so is Spotify. So those are going to go ahead and tax your GPU if they're open. There are settings to go through and turn those off. I'll try to link it up top if I can find the video for you. But if you turn those settings off, then what will happen is they won't use as much. The best thing to do is try to open it up on a different computer or your phone or a tablet instead of using this. You want the most power for this computer to run with Fortnite and your streaming platform, so that is the best way to do it, is minimize other things open. You also want to go down to the taskbar here and check what's open. Like this Xbox app, I don't use it. Right click, quit. And then I have Riot Vanguard, I'm not using it. Exit. That just frees up more stuff so it can run even better. Let's go and choose details here. And you're going to see at the top here that Fortnite client Win64. Right click on that and go to set priority and change it to above normal or high. So I'll put it to high. It'll say change priority. Change priority. Keep in mind, a lot of times this resets after you restart your computer, so you may have to do this more than once. Unfortunately, it's just a caveat with it. Section 4 was the most important thing I've learned, and that's why I saved it for last. This is what I was using. This is Streamlabs OBS, and I love this program. It's amazing. There's a few little things here and there they could add that would be great, but there are other issues, and the issues are it's designed to make your stream the best it can. Why is that a problem, you say? Because it's multiprocessored, and it is going to take whatever is left of your CPU and push it to the limit to make sure you get the best quality. So if I go back into Task Manager here, under Details, now I'm not even recording yet, and you can already see 1, 2, 3 different ones running, and they're in the higher end, and it's not even started recorded or streaming yet. That's Streamlabs. Now I am recording with OBS right now. Do you see OBS? It's right here. It's 1%, 2%, and it's staying down there. Streamlabs is at 3 and 3, and they're not even recording or doing anything. All it's doing is picking up my mic right now. It taxes it so hard that it actually hurts your game performance. I love the program, and it's so user-friendly, and it's got so many cool features. It's like going from a Ferrari to a Honda Civic. But, you know, the Honda Civic is very reliable, so we're going to go with the Honda Civic and make sure we get this amazing CPU usage and memory, and we don't have to worry about anything. OBS doesn't have the bells and whistles because it's strictly optimized for performance. Streamlabs is not. So I had to say goodbye to Streamlabs, and I had to go with OBS. If you're not aware of this program, basically it's free just like OBS. Now, if you have a 2 PC setup and you have something on the other PC, I would definitely use Streamlabs, because then you're using that PC and you can game on this PC. That's something I am going to make a video about in the future when I purchase the tools that I need to turn it into a 2 PC setup. I'm going to take my system to the next level soon. So once I do that, I will go ahead and make a video and show you how to do that. These 4 sections are what is going to get you the best recording and streaming performance and FPS. So make sure you follow these exactly as is. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and me or a user that is fluent in this will reply and help you out the best they can. Please do me a favor and help each other out. I really do appreciate it. I also made a video about the sound using Voicemeeter and how you can have different channels. It's a really cool video, and I think you'll be interested in watching that, and you can check it out right here. I'll see you over there.